Hi everybody, welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own home. My name's Dora, it's Wednesday again, I'm glad you're here to join me. So let's make our way onto our mats. Just come and sit for a moment, it doesn't have to be particularly a yogi pose, so just nice and comfortably. We're just going to establish an ujjayi breath. If you're not familiar with this breath, this is a pranayama practice where the back of the throat is slightly restricted and the breath is made softly audible to yourself. It's also translated as victorious breath. So one of the ways I teach this, and able to just have a sense of this, is to place the first two fingers just on the base of the throat, just above the notch where the collarbones meet. If you press too hard, this would feel a little uncomfortable. It might make you cough, so it's quite sensitive there, just at the base of the larynx. And imagine you're going to breathe into and out of this place. There's no forcing. As you slightly restrict the back of the larynx, the breath is just made audible to yourself. Place your hand down onto your thigh. So today we'll be practicing ujjayi just on the exhalation. We'll allow the inhalation to be passive. And this is the reverse of a normal breathing pattern. So generally the inhalation is active, the exhalation is passive. Here we're going to take a natural inhale and an ujjayi exhale. Really soothing and calming for the nervous system. Another way, if you feel you're not quite getting this, and it may take a little bit of time, is to place your hand in front of your mouth and imagine you were steaming up a mirror. So you're going to open your mouth and breathe out, and then draw the moisture back from the mirror. Lightly close the lips and continue with this sensation. And release the arm down. So one of the reasons that we're only going to be practicing ujjayi on the exhale this morning is so as not to create more tension and stress in the body on the inhale until you get more familiar with this. We are moving into autumn, which is the season of vata. Vata is the wind. So if that element is quite high in your constitution already, this can aggravate. And the wind can be quite aggravating for the nervous system. Out of balance, it can cause a little bit of anxiety. The qualities of wind are dry and cold, and so also the skin may feel quite dry at this season. So we don't want to aggravate any unnecessary anxiety or add to what might be going on for you already. So just ujjayi on the exhale, natural inhale. Let's come down onto the belly and we'll have a practice here. So you're going to come into crocodile pose. Legs are a little bit wider so the toes are pointing towards the back corners of your mat. Rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. Tuck your chin in enough so the back of the neck isn't sagging. So the back of the neck is lifted in line with the spine. Spread the shoulder blades, spread the elbows, and just take a moment to sense the breath here. Notice how the belly and the chest descends on the inhale. And draws back towards the spine on the exhale. It's a deep, nurturing belly breath just to help us arrive onto the space on your mat that is entirely yours. Settling into your portable temple, your body. And then let's take a natural inhale and an ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. Without forcing the breath. This is a really lovely way to help the mind focus. The sound of the breath takes you inwards, and we're able to assess the quality of the exhale. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. Maybe take 2 or 3 more breaths in this way. You can let this go for a moment. Notice how you feel. Ujjayi breath can be practiced as a separate pranayama, or you can thread this breath throughout your practice. Or you may indeed pick it up when you notice that you have left, when you've lost your awareness of the present moment, as an anchor to bring you back. Let's take the thumbs underneath the shoulders and push yourselves up onto hands and knees. Bring the big toes to touch, knees are quite wide. And come and hinge back into a child's pose. Keep your arms extended, but draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Forehead can be on the floor or just floating off. Let's sway the hips across the heels. Just releasing any tension in the lower back. And opening up into the groins. Muscles around the tops of your thighs. And come to the center in stillness. Come up onto your hands and your knees. To tabletop, so wrists underneath the shoulders, hips above the knees. And start to waggle your hips here. So reaching the femur head right out to the right and the left. Come back through to the center. Extend your rib cage out towards the right. So you're bowing the rib cage out towards the right side. Hips move to the left. Let your left ear fall towards the front of the left shoulder head. So rib cage to the right, hips to the left ear to shoulder head. There's a contraction in the left side of the waist, bowing through the right. And then maybe with this off-piste shape, you can lift your navel and round the spine upwards. Release this, let this go, come back into the center. Bow your ribcage towards the left. Take your hips to the right. Let your right ear fall towards the front of the right shoulder. Maybe, we'll hold it here for a moment first actually, contracting in the right side of the waist, bowing through the left. And then you could lift the navel, rounding a little. Come back through to the center. Tuck your toes, come and sit down onto the heels. Stretch your arms forward. So the elbows off the floor, pinkies just touching the outer edges of your mat. Draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Turn the tricep muscles towards the floor, bicep muscles upwards, and squeeze from periphery to core. Outer ankles, shins and thighs back towards your midline. Take an inhale. Come up onto hands and knees. As you exhale, float the knees off the floor. Lead with your tailbone as you unfold into your first downward facing dog. Elbows are soft, knees can be bent. Let's walk our dog, bending one knee and then the other, easing into the backs of the legs. Maybe raising both heels as you inhale, sinking both heels as you exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Let's lower the knees to the floor once again. Keep the toes tucked. Come and sit down onto the heels. Perhaps a natural inhale and ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. One last time. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. As we swing the heels to the right, so you can see your feet here, ground the left heel to the floor, bend your right knee across, lift your tailbone. Swivel back, swing the heels to the left, right heel grounds, left knee bends across, lift your tailbone. Swivel your feet so they're parallel once again, soften the knees, walk your hands back towards the feet. So you're standing at the back of your mat with about 2 fists distance in between your arches here. Snuggle the feet down. Take the fingertips in front of the toes. So bend your knees as much as you need to have the fingers on the floor. And maybe flip the palms upwards so the backs of the hands are on the mat. Fingers pointing towards one another. Let the head go. Your arms are creating a nice wide circle here. Just shift the weight from one foot to the other, keeping the skin on both feet down. And then find that place where there's about 50% of the weight in each foot. Flip your hands so they're on your feet, toes and fingers pointing forward. Have a sense of that grounding sensation of hand to foot. And as you inhale, slide the hands up the shins, extend the heart, back is flat. Exhale, take the hands around the backs of the legs, slide them down the calves onto the heels and hug yourself in. Hands onto the feet, inhale, press away, legs are strong. Exhale, hands slide down the calves, hugging in. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Pause here with the hands on the backs of your ankles, elbows pointing back. Bend your knees, come into a little squat. Maybe the thighs come parallel to the floor. Squeeze the upper arms towards the thighs. Press the thighs out towards your upper arms. Back of the neck is long. Reaching your arms back. Find your spine like a spirit level. Curl the shoulders up and around a little bit here. Spread the fingers, open up the palms of the hands. And then come to sit down in the squat, however that is for you. So you may not move very much. You may find you can come and sit onto the heels. You might find that your heels need to come off to go this low. And then using your legs, you're going to power yourself all the way up to standing. Take an inhale, soften the knees, turn the tricep muscles forward, palms facing one another. Come to squat down again. So it's a parallel squat, knees tracking over the middle two toes. Just as far as you can. You might come all the way down, you may not. And then walk your hands forward here as you bring your knees back to the earth. Toes are tucked. Float yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. One more breath. Step your left foot a little closer to your right foot, a little bit more centered. Stroke the floor with the ball of your right foot and send the leg up behind you. Can you find that half-pointed flexed foot? So the toes are flexed back, but the front of the ankle is pointed. Imagine you're trying to press a button behind you with your right big toe joint. Inhale, exhale, bring your knee forward towards your nose. Inhale, take it up and back. Step the foot close to your right thumb, a little bit off the center of your mat. Bring your back heel in and down. So we're coming straight into a warrior one. Push down to the feet and just let your belly and chest float off your thigh. Reach your arms back. Again, open up the palms of the hands, extend the fingers. Back of the neck is long. You're laying over your right thigh. Float your arms forward and lift the chest. Wrapping the left side of your ribcage forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows. Keep exhaling as the palms come together. Lower your gaze. Inhale, reach up. Maybe palms together. Apart, if that causes tension in the shoulders, you could look up. Exhale, elbows in line with the shoulders, palms together, lower your gaze. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Lower your gaze, close your eyes. Angle the fingers forward so you can rest your forehead on the flats of your thumbs. And with your eyes closed, you might be a little bit more acutely aware of all those little supporting muscles around the ankles and the shin that are helping to stabilize you here. Take the hands to the floor, swivel up your back heel, step back into a high plank. Distribute the weight between your four columns. Root down to receive the uplift. Lower your knees. Flatten your feet, lengthen the tailbone, float your shoulders forward of the wrists, half chaturanga as you hug the elbows in. Lift and release the chest forward as you come down. So your hands are a little bit further back than underneath the shoulders. Maybe thumbs in line with the bra strap. As you inhale, lengthen your heart forward into a baby cobra. As you exhale, pick up the feet, half pointed, half flexed foot. Inhale, press vertically down. Lift the whole body off, you're just balancing off your knees. Lift the face, but look down the nose. And then exhale, release yourself all the way to the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times, one movement, one breath. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, pick up the feet. Inhale, press down. Face lifts, gaze along the length of your nose. Exhale, release all the way down, releasing the shins. One more time. Inhale, heart moves into space. Exhale, lift the feet. Inhale, lift. Gaze lifts up down the nose. Exhale, release yourself down. This time the toes stay lifted, you're going to push back up onto your knees. Hinge back into a child's pose. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. Maybe 2 more breaths in this way. Coming up onto hands and knees. Bring the shins parallel again. Tuck the toes behind the knees. Walk your hands back towards your knees as you flip over the toes, coming into your squat. Reach your arms forward. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale. Melt the shoulders. Sit bones and heels descend. Come back into your squat just as far as you can. Walk your hands forward as you bring your knees to the floor and lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Softening the elbows. 3 breaths, maybe natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. And step your right foot a little closer to your left. Stroke the floor with the ball of your left foot. As the leg floats off, imagine you're trying to press a button with your big toe joints. Press the palms down and forward. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Inhale, take the leg up and back. Exhale, step the foot close to the left thumb. Bring your back heel in and down for your warrior 1. Push down to the feet, float your belly, reach your arms by your sides, open up the palms, reach the fingers back. Curl the shoulders around and up a little. Sweeping the arms forward, let your arms carry you up into your warrior 2. Right side of the ribcage wraps forward, take an inhale. Exhale, elbows come in line with the shoulders, palms together, lower your gaze. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbows, palms together, lower your gaze. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Pause here. Angle your fingers forward. Rest your forehead on the flats of your thumbs. Eyes are closed. Just aware of all those little supporting muscles in the ankles and the shins and the feet that are helping you to stay balanced here. Take the hands to the floor. Swivel up your back heels. Step back into a high plank. Lower your knees. Lengthen your toes. Lengthen your tailbone. Bring shoulders over the wrists. Bend your elbows, drop the chest. Take the chest forward as you release down. Take the arms into a surrender position here. Pick up your feet. Flex your feet so they're parallel to the ceiling. And press your feet up towards the sky. Let your chest and arms lift off. So just like a skydiver who's been dropped out of an aeroplane. Couple of breaths. And then releasing down. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, feet stay lifted. Push yourself back up and over into a child's pose. And coming back up, bring the shins parallel, tuck your toes behind the knees, float yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. Step the left foot closer to the right, float your right leg up behind you. Let's bring the heel towards the sit bone. Start to lift the knee out to the side and up towards the ceiling. So you're opening up the belly towards the right side. Reverse pigeon, heel towards the opposite sit bone. Exhale, come forward, bring the knee to the left elbow. Inhale, take the leg up and open. 1 more time, exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, take it up and open. Exhale, knee points down. Step the foot towards the right thumb. Back heel comes in and down. Lift the belly, reach the arms back. Warrior one. Sweep the arms forward. Lifting into your warrior one. Right arm comes down by the side of the body. Maybe you can catch the back thigh or just find it there. Lift up and wrap the left side of your body forward. Switching arms, so right arm by your ear, left hand onto the back thigh. A slightly different approach to Trikonasana from a warrior one rather than a warrior two. So as you begin to straighten the front leg, hinge the hips back. The hips stay relatively square. This left hip might lift up a little bit. You open up the chest and the hand comes to rest on the shin. Top arm, your left arm just floats off the body so it's parallel to the floor. So this variation, this top hip is rotated forward a little bit more. You want to make sure that the femur head feels comfortable there. And then the chest is opening. Slice the air with your left hand so the fingers come in line with the shoulder. Start to turn the thumb down, palm up, and push back a heavy curtain. So sort of a forward rotation of that shoulder joint there. Take the back of the hand onto the right shoulder blade or towards the right shoulder blade so it wraps behind you, lifting up that left collarbone. Bending your right knee, take the fingertips to the floor and take this into Ardha Chandrasana. Shift the weight over and see if you can raise up that left leg, flexing the foot. Maybe the left arm floats up, see if that helps or hinders your balance. Expanding out in all directions. As you bend your right knee, maybe the left arm comes over the head. Enough room there. And then the left arm circles as you step the left foot back to the floor, and you're going to rise from both feet into a warrior two. No judging yourself. It's a tricky little sequence. Left hand to thigh, right hand to the back of the skull, point the elbows straight up. Reverse warrior. Right forearm onto the thigh, left hand cups the base of the skull, and you can lean the skull back into the hand there. Tailbone moves forward and towards that back heel. As you curl the chest forward, bring your left elbow towards your right ankle. Right hand comes to the floor outside of the foot, swivel up your back heel. My left hand now is just almost around the ear, side of the face. Angle the left elbow back towards the left knee. Maybe lift the back heel, curl the head in a little bit here. Front knee stays bent. The hips, imagine the hips were higher than the shoulders. And then bending your right knee, lead with your left elbow, let it take you all the way up. The right arm is just draping down, maybe a little essence of a back bend. Come forward, float the left hand to the floor, right arm reaches back, take it up, twist towards the right knee, squeeze the inner thighs, circle the hand to the floor, step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, flatten your feet, lengthen your tailbone, come forward, half chaturanga. Lift and take the chest forward, roll the shoulders. Baby cobra or up dog. Lift your navel, roll over the toes, stretch back. Maybe 3 breaths. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. All in and out through the nose, just slightly restricting the back of the throat so you can hear the exhale. No forcing. Step your right foot a little closer to your left. Float the left leg up behind you. Bring the heel to the sit bone. Take the knee out to the side, up towards the sky as you curl the foot towards the right outer glute. Little reverse pigeon. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left knee across to the right elbow. And then take it up and over. And again, exhaling. Inhale. Exhale, step the foot towards the left thumb. Place your back heel in and down. Lift the chest, brush the arms back. Sweep your arms forward, carry the chest up here. Warrior one, right side of the ribcage wraps forward. Left arm sweeps down, maybe you can find that back thigh. Reach up with your right arm, wrapping right ribcage forward slightly. And then changing arms, left arm by your ear. So you begin to straighten the front leg, swing your hips back. Keep that right hip rotated forward. It might need to lift a little bit. Chest opens and the left hand comes to float onto the shin. Right arm just floats off the top edge of the body. It's parallel to the floor. It's a variation of Trikonasana where the hips are a little squarer and we get that beautiful opening into the chest. Slice the air with your right hand. Turn the thumb down, turn the palm up, and brush back a heavy curtain. Expand out in all directions. And bring the back of your right hand towards your left shoulder blade. As you bend your left knee, look down, place the fingertips about a foot away from your little toe. Start to shift the weight over, raising up your right leg into Ardha Chandrasana. Oops, I've got enough space for the next bit. If it's helpful to create some buoyancy, the right arm can float up. Expanding out in all directions, lifting away from the floor. And as you bend your left knee, the right arm comes over, so creating one long top edge. Circle the right arm as you place the right foot to the floor. And root through both legs to rise into a warrior two. Right hand comes onto the thigh, left hand to the back of the skull, lifting up the elbow, leaning back, reverse warrior. And then as you come back, left forearm onto the thigh, right hand to the back of the skull. Tailbone moving towards your back heel. And just cupping the back of your skull so you can lean into the support of the hand. So you turn the chest towards the earth, right elbow comes towards the inner ankle. Swivel up your back heel, left hand comes to the floor. So you're in a lunge here. Start to angle your right elbow back towards the right knee. Lift the back heel so you can curl in, feeling as though the hips were higher than the shoulders. And then sinking the heel, reaching your right elbow up, left arm drapes. And right hand comes to the floor, left arm sweeps back and up into your twist. Hand comes over, high plank. Either full chaturanga up dog if that's your practice, or stay with me, knees, flatten the feet, half chaturanga. Take the chest forward, cobra or up dog. Back into downward facing dog. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. One more breath. Great. Floating your right leg up behind you. Heel to sit bone. Take the knee out to the side. Open up into your reverse pigeon. Coming forward, knee to navel, and slide the outer edge of your foot across the mat. Take the toes a little bit higher towards the tips of your left fingers. Back heel comes down, fallen angel as you raise your left arm. And maybe you'd like to take the arm over the side of the face and bow into the top edge of the body. Right, as you take the left hand back to the floor, knee to navel, pulse back. Step the right foot in between the hands. Take the right hand inside and walk yourself around into a wide-legged fold. Make sure the toes are aligned. Invite the weight into the outer edges of the feet. Let the crown of the head pour towards the earth. Soften the knees. Release the head and neck. Lift your heart a little so that you can walk the fingertips forward. You could make little cups with your hands or plant the palms flat. Check that the hips are still over the ankles. Draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Spread the shoulder blades and be broad across the upper back. Now, if you're a very flexible yogi or yogini, just check that you're not dumping into your lower back or mid back. So you might need to just knit the lower ribs a fraction. And angle the sit bones slightly down towards the heels. If you're not so flexible, you're lifting your sit bones and dropping the heart. Walk your hands back towards your toes. Wiggle your feet a little bit closer. So maybe a little bit less than a meter. Bend your knees so you're in a squat. Lift your tailbone, but the feet are parallel. And you're going to reach your arms outside of your legs and back. Spine like a spirit level. Reach your arms forward by your ears. Keep breathing. And then rise all the way up. Spinning your feet towards the right. Drop down into a warrior two. Left hand onto the back thigh, right hand behind the skull. Float the right fingertips inside of the foot. Left hand behind the skull. Parsvakonasana. A little lower this time. Curl forward. Left elbow to right ankle. Slip the right fingertips outside of the foot. Swivel up your back heel. Maybe this time we begin to straighten the leg as the left elbow moves towards the thigh. Bending the knee, lead with your left elbow, right arm drapes down into your high lunge. Take the right hand to the floor, left arm sweeps up and back. Taking the hand to the floor, let's step back into our downward facing dog. Great. Walk your hands back towards your toes. Wiggle your feet a little bit closer. So maybe a little bit less than a meter. Bend your knees, so you're in a squat. Lift your tailbone, but the feet are parallel. And you're going to reach your arms outside of your legs and back. Take the right hand to the floor, left arm sweeps up and back. Taking the hand to the floor, let's step back into our downward facing dog. Let's take a little pause in child's pose, lowering the knees, flattening the feet. Forehead could rest on the backs of your hands. And just to avoid zoning out here, let's take 3 breaths. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. One more breath. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Come back onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Float your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Right foot a little closer to your left. Float the left leg up behind you. Heel to sit bone. Take the knee out to the side. Open up the belly. Reverse pigeon. Knee comes past the navel. Slide the outer edge of the foot across the floor so the toes are a little higher, maybe reaching towards your right pinky. Back heel comes down. Raise up your right arm into your fallen angel. This might be enough. Or you can take the arm over by the cheek and bow the top edge of your body towards the ceiling. Take your hand to the floor, knee to navel. Pulse back. Step the left foot in between the hands. Left hand inside. Walk yourself around into a wide-legged fold. Soften the knees. Spin the fingers around, so you're going to walk your hands through your legs towards the wall behind you. Palms may flatten. Feel that little hollow above the pubic bone here, so the internal organs are lifting up towards the diaphragm. Maybe the chin tucks in so you can look up beyond your sit bones. Walking your hands back in line with the toes. Wiggle the feet a little bit closer, a little bit less than a meter. So you can take a deepish squat and reach the arms outside of your legs. Sweep the arms forward by the ears. Keep breathing. Lifting the thumbs and then rise all the way up. Spinning the feet towards the left. Drop down into your warrior 2. Right arm onto the thigh, left hand behind the skull. Float the left fingertips to the floor, right hand behind the skull. Curl forward, right elbow to inner ankle, swivel up the back heel, switch the left hand to the outside of the foot. Begin to straighten that front leg. Angle the right elbow to the right knee. It's a little bit of a balance. Re-bend the knee. Lead with the elbow as you take it up. Let the left arm drape down. Take the right hand to the floor. Reach back with your left arm, raising it up. And then take the hand to the floor and step back into your downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Come and sit down onto the heels. Keep your toes tucked. Come up onto hands and knees. Flatten your feet, bring the shoulders forward, half chaturanga. Release the chest to the floor a little bit further forward and lengthen your legs away. Tuck the chin in so the forehead can be on the floor. Great, reaching your arms down by your sides, palms facing one another, Shalabhasana. Lifting the chest, wiggle the rib cage forward a little bit and let the legs float off. This might be enough. If your boat pose is available for you. You're going to bend the feet, knees, and take a hold of the ankles. Doesn't have to be high. And let's keep the feet and knees slightly apart. Roll the shoulders around. Dhanurasana. Now there's an option here if you want to play to roll over towards your right side. So you're resting on the right hip and the shoulder, still kicking the feet out into the hands. Head is off the floor. Might feel nice. Getting back up is a little trickier. So roll yourself back and maybe over towards the left. Head is off the floor, knees are apart, kick the feet into the hands. And then taking it back. Release the thighs, keep the feet lifted. Support the forehead on the backs of your hands. And just take a little sway of your shins from side to side, releasing some tension in the lower back. Release the shins to the floor. Bring your big toes to touch and let your heels flip out to the sides. So you might need to organize the thigh muscles a little bit so they kind of roll, the fronts of the thighs roll in. Snuggle down and take 3 breaths. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. Natural inhale, ujjayi exhale. One more breath. Keep your hands under your shoulders. Push yourself onto your hands and knees. Separate the knees, big toes to touch. Round the spine. Lift the navel, arch your back into a cat. And come about halfway back with a rounded spine. So that hips are hinging back. Spine stays rounded. You come to sit all the way down onto the heels. Extend to the sides and front of the body into child's pose. Maybe bring the hands onto the floor in front of your head and sway the hips from side to side. Stretch your arms out in front of you and start to curl your way up to sit on the heels. Resting the hands on the thighs. Bring your knees together, sink your hips to one side and stretch your legs out in front of you. So you're going to bend your left knee and draw the left foot up onto the top of your thigh into Janu Shirshasana. If that knee is quite high, you need some support. You could place a cushion or a block underneath to support that. Take the fingertips by the hips, root down through the fingertips and the sit bones to lift, and then start to come forward. There are a couple of options here for the hands. You could have your fingers wide, which can help to steer you over the leg. You can take a hold of the shin, the ankle, or the foot. Come back to your breath. The little wave of motion through the spine that each breath provides. Maybe a natural inhale and ujjayi exhale, particularly if you tend to be distracted when there's not much going on. Really, there's a wealth of sensation and aliveness within the body for you to be aware of. your fingertips to walk your hands back towards you. And we're going to change legs. So just raising up the left knee, stretch the leg forward. If you need to give the knee a little rub, a little shampoo, go ahead. Just releasing that joint capsule. And then the right foot comes up onto the top of the thigh. If you need some support for the leg, go ahead. Fingertips by the hips, root down through your sit bones and fingers. Receive the uplift, and then you can start to come forward. And your forward may be here. You may be really high, and that's fine. Come a little bit further, hands can be wide, hands onto shin or the ankle, and release. Natural inhale, Ujjayi exhale. Couple more breaths here. Using the fingertips to come back upright. Draw up the right knee. Half stretch the leg away if you need to give the knee joint a little rub there. Knees down. Okay, come to the front of your mat, bending the knees. Bring your sit bones towards your heels and release yourself down onto the earth. Open the arms out to the sides. And then just reach up with the arms, catch a hold of the elbows, so the forearms. Bring your sit bones towards your heels and release yourself down onto the earth. Rising vertically. Open the arms out to the sides. Maybe wiggle the feet together. And then just reach up with the arms, catch a hold of the elbows. So bring your sit bones towards your heels and release yourself down onto the earth. Over the shins, exhale, curling. Open the arms out to the sides. Inhale, release the head to the floor, arms are vertical. Wiggle the feet together. Exhale, take the knees to the right and arms to the left. Catch a hold of the elbows. So bring your sit bones towards your heels and release yourself down onto the earth. And the forearms. Open the arms out to the sides. Hook your arms. Inhale, release the head to the floor. Wiggle the feet together. Inhale, release down. Exhale, take the knees to the arms. Catch a hold of the elbows. Inhale, come back. Exhale. Inhale. Reach to the right arm. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feet to the floor. Arms come over the head. Scoop the shoulder blades down. Release the grip on your elbows as you reach the arms back. Circle the arms down. Settle yourself into